Okay, I think I'm about ready here. So here's what I'm drawing. It's not done yet. I'm using under the amount of tiles that I need, so I have room for more unique tiles. So yep, that's what we'll be doing, and cleaning things up and finishing off the areas that have little to no detail. But yeah, it should be pretty chill. The game jam, I think I got a link somewhere. Here's the link. We've got the GB Studio Central presents the GB Pixel Art Jam 2024 Color Palette Edition. So it's pretty cool. We got these 4 different palettes to choose from, and I'm going with this one. We've got 18 hours, 35 minutes, and 9 seconds. So it looks like 6 p.m. on the 6th. So tomorrow, 6 p.m. it's over. So I've got until I go to bed tonight and then wake up and then finish it. So still got some time. Here's the rest of the rules and stuff. It's pretty important, but I did this last year, so I already have a good understanding of the rules. It's pretty cool, actually. You've got to make it work on an actual Game Boy so they can put it on a cartridge. So yeah, all original pieces of work, 160 by 144, using the color palettes offered, safe for work, no AI or automation, make it by hand, push and pop those pixels. Prizes randomly assigned and not based on criteria. 1 submission per artist. So I guess there are prizes for this, but they're randomly assigned and not based on criteria. So that's interesting. All submissions will be included in the downloadable Game Boy ROM after the event. Read below for more details. I draw your attention to the bottom of this page for resources and submission tips. So yeah, the resources, there is a website that I've been using to count the tiles, where you, this one. Yeah, so you just drag the image into there, it counts the tiles. I think I've got some, I don't, because I closed it and opened something else. Actually was making that little icon for the money. I think I'm gonna redo it though. It's supposed to be a Game Boy game. It doesn't really look like it. Maybe I'll change the colors up a bit, but it's good for now. Oh, here's what I was looking for. So here I've got all the different versions, so you can see if I throw in the first one, you can see it's got 306 unique tiles, which is not what you want, right? But you can see it's like a sketch, right? So if I turn off the heat map, you can see it's a pretty poorly drawn sketch. But I was just trying to get the general flow and feel for how the colors and the sense of depth would work, and like a general composition. And it did the job for that. So if we go all the way up to number 8, now you can see I'm only using 174, and the heat map's actually pretty helpful here, so you can see where the unique tiles are. And some of them I'm going to clean up, and some of them I'm going to like lean into the uniqueness. And you can see this is an older version, because if you take a look at this rock here, you can see I've added some details to the rock. This is what it looks like without the grid. with the grid. So you can see some areas like this could stand to be cleaned up or made more organic. It looks too geometrical. But there's this lean going on to the mushroom, this like very organic lean, and that kind of helps it to feel not like a straight line, but it still feels too straight. Oh, Easy Perp subscribed. Thanks for the subscription. You're actually the first. I said easy. You're the first subscriber for my Twitch channel. So thank you, Easy Perp. I really appreciate that. How you been, man? I haven't heard of what you're doing in ages. I mean, I see things on Twitter every once in a while, but I haven't chatted with you in a long time. Thanks for dropping in. I really appreciate that, and for the subscription. It feels weird to say. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I'm making a morel mushroom is the plan for this pixel art jam. And yeah, I was kind of working on the depth here. You can kind of see these tiles are different than these tiles, and then these tiles are different, or going to be different from these tiles. And yeah, so I'm going to kind of do a few different strips here. I've got a few different tiles to work with. If I save it and then export it, we'll increment the number here. And then we'll throw this on the website. Oh, I gotta refresh it first. So you can see I've got 175, and you're allowed 192. We go to the jam rules. 192 unique 8x8 tiles. So that's what this is counting, the 8x8 tiles, because that's how the Game Boy hardware works. So yeah, this is what I've been working on. I wanted to do it all on stream, but there was just too much going on around the house, and then I had to like bring my folks to the airport, and didn't have a chance. I really like that. It looked good before the mushroom was there, but Easy Perp says, no worries, I've been drowning in game dev lately. Seeing your stuff and you're progressing is super motivative. So thank you for sticking to it. Thank you for keeping up with me. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I do my best to do things. Sometimes it feels like I'm like spinning my wheels, but like I'm actually doing stuff, you know? Yeah. I've had friends who watch me, and they kind of look at the negative side of things, where it's like, oh, Retro Spaceball, you've been working on that for 7 years, when are you gonna release that, you know, like, and I feel that, but I've also done like so much other stuff like that, like I don't really feel bad about like not doing things ever, because I'm always doing stuff. So it just seems like it if you only look at Retro Spaceball that yeah, maybe I'm not doing as much, but I swear I am. So I appreciate you watching and being motivated, because honestly, motivating is like the best part of this for me, because like I know I'm not like the world's greatest game developer or programmer or anything, but you know, I'm doing my best to stick in there and keep up with everything. And I think that in itself is like is tough, you know. So it's like I'm glad that people can relate or feel inspired by it, like, because what more could I ask? That actually looks fine where it is, doesn't it? It's this one that I need to mess with. There we go. Oh, I'm not really doing this right, am I? No. I got carried away with it. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna fill this in, but I actually wanted this to be a different pattern. So what I'm gonna do, and what I've been doing, is actually just shrinking this down, and then like, oh, that's too small. Shrinking it halfway, but that actually looks like crap. So I'm gonna actually change that. It wouldn't look that bad if it was like shifted. Easyburp says, I know that feeling. Doing game dev is just super fun and you don't really understand the fun unless you're doing it, I guess. No, absolutely. It's like playing games, except even more addicting, right? And there's more at stake. There's like a gamble element to it, a gambling element to it almost, because you're putting your time and effort into something that, like, it's essentially like a lottery ticket. And I mean, there's a lot to it there to unpack psychologically speaking. So yeah, the hooks are deep. But it's so fun that it's hard to even explain it to someone else. But it's also so hard, and like the two go in hand because it's like this challenge thing, right? It's like climbing Mount Everest or something like that, where you just need a higher and higher mountain until all of a sudden you're making games on your own, doing all of the art, all of the music, all of the programming, all of the game design, and that is like climbing mountains. It's harder than climbing mountains. I've climbed some mountains. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've failed at climbing mountains too. It was this Mountain Brown when I was a kid. It was the first time I ever did mountain climbing, and we did not make it to the top. We got pretty close. We were about like 2 or 3 miles, maybe 4 miles away. We could see the lookout on top, and it was just so windy that it was like blowing in the wind. It was like this tower on top of the mountain, and you could see that it was blowing around. Like, it was unsafe to be on those wind conditions. In fact, you didn't want to be on top of the mountain. It was super cold, and it was the middle of summer. But if we would have like left earlier, we would have been okay, because then we would have been like on the top during like midday when it's at the hottest. But we didn't know any better, so it was like already like getting closer to like sundown, because the sun was nearly down by the time that we got to the bottom, I think. Of course, it's way quicker to get down a mountain than it is to get up a mountain. It's like, I kind of like this, like, this row looking thing. I just don't know how it will look like tiled. So yeah, this is kind of hard to work with like this. So what I've been doing is making a new sprite. And this is super useful for Game Boy. Of course, that doesn't fit, right? So if you go to like tiled mode, right? There we go. We can kind of see how the pattern is going to like continue. Yeah, so that's pretty good. So I'm just going to, yeah, I guess it only works if you use your brush here. Ooh, I should be able to just continue this pattern, right? It's like an L. That's not it. Or is it? Yeah, like that. Of course, it's not tiling anymore. Oh, there's a Pokemon and shit. I'm gonna try to catch that myself. Yeah, if you're new to the Pokemon game, it's pretty fun. You like get money from chatting, and eventually you get more and more money, and it doesn't become a thing that you have to worry about as much. But yeah, it's like, you know, Pokemon, so it's pretty fun. Yup, there's different balls for different types. There's different commands. There is a oh cool, you caught it. There is a what do they call that? An extension down below the stream. If you want to learn more, there's like a link to the people who make it and that kind of stuff and all that. So we'll see how long before Nintendo sues. But it's pretty fun. I don't know how to fix this so it would be perfectly tiling. It doesn't seem like it's possible. But it doesn't really need to be either, as long as it looks good. But I'm not sure that it does. So it looks like it's saying something like T-L-I-L-L. Wait, T-L-I-L-L-I-L. Lil. Oh, that one's got an O. Oh no, it's because my cursor was there. I don't know. It looks weird though. It doesn't. It looks like its own color when you like back out. Yeah, it's like when you look really closely at a TV. When this like the old CRT ones. Oh, that's not right. This is what I want. So now we have this. That looks interesting. It doesn't look bad. I don't know how good it looks, but it doesn't look bad. Are you planning on releasing your game on Steam when you're done? Yeah, generally, as a blanket term, yeah, I think eventually I'd like to get everything on Steam. Everything except for Lightswitch Crusader. I don't think that's ever going to get on Steam. But yeah, Retro Spaceball, there's a Steam page for it, but there's no demo up on there yet. The demo on itch is good, it's playable, but it's got some issues that I want to iron out before I put it on Steam. I don't want to put it on Steam knowing about these issues. And it's like, and so there's a few things I need to do to really just like polish it for Steam. That's really what it comes down to. I either need to cut some features that aren't going to be done for a while for the demo, or you know, because there's a whole lot of unfinished stuff on the itch version because I'm testing it. I'm using itch as like a way to test it. So it's not only is it the demo, but it's the beta. It's like the beta demo. So it's I'm doing a few different things here. There is like a hidden menu within the demo that has all of the levels that I've been messing with. So even levels that aren't finished yet are in the demo. They're just hidden. So if like a tester of mine is playing the game and they're like, oh, I really like this, I'm like, oh, there's more levels if you want to give it another shot. you know, they're just not done yet, so I need feedback on them or whatever. Or some of them are just like concepts and ideas, or like getting the mechanic to work. And then, so there's a lot of things that I was like kind of waiting on before I had all of the mechanics just like in place, until I had everything perfect. And then the plan was like to really you know, extend the game out. Easy Perp says, true, going Steam is a pretty big deal to me. Yeah, no, I mean, I can understand that. I know a lot of people are like, that's their like goal, is like, I want to put a game on Steam, and that never really was like a driving force for me, like, to be honest. Like, I always thought it would be cool to like put it on Steam, and I always thought like that's where the money is at, on Steam. Like, if you're going to try to sell your game for money, like, it's kind of almost pointless to sell a game on itch. I mean, you can make a little bit of money, it's not completely pointless, but compared to Steam, it's nothing, you know what I mean? So, but also, yeah, there's like a difficulty curve on Steam. I don't know if you've got anything on Steam yet, but there's a learning curve. So it almost, like, if you know that you're gonna have your game on Steam, it almost makes sense to start early and start learning the stuff, because it's its own thing. Like, I don't know if you remember like the days of MySpace where you had to like do everything yourself for the formatting, otherwise your webpage looked like shit, or your MySpace looked like shit, right? It's a little bit like that, except there's a lot more rules and less hand-holding and less places to turn to online, I feel like, than MySpace, at least. Also, it's like it's a can of worms and a bit of a mess. Like, there's all these NDAs in place, so you can't even really talk about it or expose some of the stuff that they give you access to. So like, there's almost like an information barrier, so you're kind of forced to do the footwork. Yeah, there's a lot to it. So if the plan is Steam, I would say do as much research as you can, and just continue doing research, because even after you release a game on Steam, if you're gonna want to release more, it's constant research, because Steam is always changing. I don't know if you heard about the lawsuit thing. That's pretty interesting to hear about the outcome of how that worked out, because there was this big class action lawsuit where like 70,000 people were gonna sue Steam, or are still trying to sue Steam, over it being a monopoly, and they had like retroactively changed their terms of service. So like, yeah, it's gonna play out probably in Steam's favor eventually, but yeah, there's a real weird thing going on there. I was watching videos on that just recently. It's almost hard to explain, but there are a bunch of videos about it. So the next thing that I was doing to help me fill stuff in, oh, that looks weird. I was using this bright green color as like a mask, so that way I could like fill things in using the paint bucket and the pattern. Or what do you call it? The I don't know, the Control B. I call it a pattern. Oh, I'm missing the point here, aren't I? What happened here? I'm supposed to be doing this line. But yeah, you know, I was actually looking into getting Game Boy games on Steam, so I think that would be really cool. I just finished a Game Boy game for a game jam recently, so I since it's like really close to being done, and like it would only take me another week or so to like get it up to like, I don't know, bigger Game Boy game standards, you know what I mean, like to really flesh it out so it feel like a good enough game to purchase on Steam for $5 or whatever, $2 or $3 on sale. You know, because that's the plan. It's a Game Boy game, you're not gonna get rich off of it, but it would be an easy way to have more games on Steam and get more eyes on the store, and you know, maybe a couple fans playing the game. People actually really liked the Game Jam game, even though it had like these really bad bugs that were draining the player's life to make it even more challenging than it was. But yeah, it's actually pretty fun once I got the bugs ironed out. In fact, the Game Jam is probably over now. What was that Game Jam? I should look this up, because I can I clicked the wrong thing, didn't I? This what was it? Or I guess I could just go to my game. Oh yeah, it looks like the rating is, wait. Oh, maybe the rating's not over yet. Oh yeah, there's still a day left of rating. Well, I can show the game at least. Let me get that back. Where did it go? Yeah, so this is what I did for this GB jam. It's called Demon Fish Dead Ahead. It's pretty cool. Here, I'll turn off the music. Oh, I want to see what this is. Oh, okay. Right. So yeah, actually, the one that I like use is the one that the background is. Although this one's pretty cool too. Yeah, let's use that one actually. Yeah. So it's like an RPG game, but it works on the actual Game Boy. So yeah, you go fishing. So I did the sound effects and the music and the art and the programming, and I actually did this all in like 7 or 7.5 days or something like that for a game. That game jam. That's cool as fuck. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I was actually pretty impressed that I was able to do it. I did it all on stream too, and the VODs are up on YouTube in case you wanted to watch them in fast motion, because they're like 10 hours a piece and there's like 8 of them. Or I think it was like one of them was shorter or something like that. I can't remember how it worked, but it was down to the wire, which is why I left a glaring bug in it. I made some changes to how the maximum health was affected, like with minutes left, and I didn't have time to test it because it was gonna take like a you know, a minute to build it anyways, and a few minutes to change anything that I fixed. So like, I'd rather just not know that the bugs were in there at that point, because I couldn't have fixed them anyways. Didn't have any more time. There's a Pokemon in chat. Pokecatch. And Yeah, so I left the bug in there, and I kind of assumed that there would be some bugs, but I didn't know it was gonna be like that. So there is a way to play it, but you kind of have to exploit the brace mechanic. Because I've been bracing this whole time. After you brace like 5 or 6 times, you can't take damage from like any normal enemy. See, player attacked for 0. So now I can't get hurt. I've exploited the brace feature. Because it was designed that way. I designed it that way. It's a flawed design is what it is. But it actually helps in this case, because otherwise you would lose because of the bug. These are like the harder enemies too. That's the other part about the bug. It only has an effect on the easy enemies. So I know to fight the hard enemies otherwise, because for some reason the easy enemies are, well, because of the bug, not for some reason. The easy enemies are way harder because of the bug. So the hard enemies are hard for sure, but because of the brace exploit, and because of the bug on the easy enemies, these are the easy enemies. The easiest way to play this game is to break it. But these fish just aren't dying. I'm casting, at which I'm gonna cast at 1. 1 takes 3 damage. First it has 20 some odd health. I have like 0 levels. That's my problem. I should be attacking Floppy. Floppy has the least health. So one piece of feedback that I got that I actually had planned. See, you can see these 2 waves here and there. I was going to make them numbers for when there's more than 1, right? So this would be 2 and that one would be 3 and then this one would be 1. I'd just change like either that one or that one. And that's the way these waves are set up. You can't see it because when I created the art, I actually changed 1 pixel on each of these waves and then programmatically tell it to change it to a regular wave or a fish, depending on what it is. So these actually get generated differently for each fight. I know we're only seeing 1 fight here because this is a hard fight. Floppy's only got 17 health left though. So if I kill Floppy, you'll see it actually goes away and like leaves the hole where the waves fill it in. So I'll attack Floppy again. It's got 14. So we're doing some damage here. Oh, you got the Furfro. Furfro. I don't know the new Pokemon so well. Three damage. It's taking forever. So yeah, the game could use some polish and balance, but I feel like the art is not bad. Yeah, another piece of feedback was that there was like way too much dialogue. Well, I guess that wasn't the feedback, but I think that's the case. The feedback was that there's too much dialogue, but I think there's way too much. Actually, the feedback was to have it automate the dialogue. It wasn't that there was too much, just that they didn't want to hit the button. But I feel like I should try to minimize it as well. We're gonna kill Floppy here. Come on, Floppy, die. Oh, the cast was dodged. Whoa, but it still gave him damage. Yeah, so there's some bugs here. Pretty deep game for a game jam to me. Great work. Yeah, there's actually a boss and then there's actually exploration points that give you a level up. So yeah, there's a few different things. I wanted to do more though. I wanted to do like a shop. I wanted to do a tackle box for like items. I wanted to do like gold so you could buy the items. Nope. Oh, now the waves are there because I killed second, which was Floppy. Headed to the fish box. The sound of it. Yeah, I actually did the voices for the fish on stream. So like while I was like in the middle of the game jam, I just like changed gears. Gotta do these voices. Recorded the voices, made them 8-bit, put them into the game, programmed them in there. I was just like doing it like as fast as I could, like down to the wire. Because I think that was like the last day too, or something, or the second to last day or something. The sound came in like very late. I think I do a little bit more damage now because I leveled up. I think I leveled up. I should have gone to those locations first. That would have actually helped my chances. I haven't played in a while. I forgot that was the case. Oh, I got another fish. So yeah, now I level up again. Now I'm at level 3. Max health up. Health restored. After you get to like level like 10 or so, or even before that, probably like level 8 or 9, you start like one hit killing the enemies, and it's like you only need to kill like 2 or 3 enemies before you level up again. So it needs balance in that respect for sure. But I have a fix for that. I just haven't implemented it yet. Been so busy with other stuff. So this whole like last year or more, I've been managing a team of game developers as a side job, and it's been a lot of fun. Hey, I caught the 3rd fish. Level up. Max health up. Added to the fish box. So the next thing is I made a fish box, and this is broken in this build, but you can see each of the fish and how many you caught. So it says I caught 3 even though I only caught 1. It says I caught 6 even though I caught 1, and 3 even though I caught 1. So it's bugged. It's definitely buggy. But what's cool is that in the version that's coming out tomorrow, you can press the buttons and hear the voices that I made for them. So it's like yeah, but yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, so let me get out of the fishing zone here. Yeah, so I can save, and then it's hard to, there's so many fishing zones. I'm just gonna run away from them. We'll see if it drains my health. But yeah, so I was working on that project for like a whole year, more than a year maybe, and yeah, more than a year, and finally just released it last week. So this week has been kind of bit of a rush. Like just today, the Indie Maniac was streaming. Actually, I just came from his stream to start my own stream. I was watching his stream for a good chunk of the day. Yeah, so he streamed it. He seemed to like it. That's pretty cool. I was pretty happy that he liked it. Oh, I should be running away from this guy. He's a lot harder than he looks. Oh shit. Now I can't really remember where the locations are either, so that's kind of an issue. I think there's one up here. No, that's not a location. That's just a lighthouse. Ooh. Yeah, I made that sound with my mouth too. Like some of the sound effects I didn't make with my mouth, but like all of the creatures I did. I actually did the creature voices in that team project too. I know there's something in the bottom left corner. Yeah, the penguin. Locations found, 1 out of 7. Level up, now level 5. So I just leveled up for finding that penguin. So that's actually the quickest way to beat this version of the game, for sure, is to level up, run from all of the level 1 and 2 battles. The level 3 battles are actually going to be the easiest for you to level with in this version of the build because of the bug, but it's still difficult. So it might be better to go to the locations first. But yeah, this buggy version is not the version you want to play. But what you can do instead is go to this link here for my Discord server, and there's a ROM version of the game. So if you have a emulator, which you can get online for free, yeah, then you can play it online. It's a .gb file. I thought I had instructions for where to find the emulator, but apparently I don't. But yeah, the one I use is called BGB, and it's a free emulator. It's got like debugging tools and some cool palette stuff, so that's what I do. But yeah, unfortunately, the version that everyone's playing is not that playable. Yeah, it's really hard to even get to the boss. But there's a picture of it. And the tentacles attack you as well. It's not animated, unfortunately. I actually had plans to make the tentacles hit the boat, but I couldn't get it to work for some reason. I don't know, I didn't have the patience to try to figure it out, and it was like in the middle of the jam. That was cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, and you said I was machine. Yeah, I guess I kind of can be. I've been doing a lot, you know. Yeah, you know, my mom is so I'm living with my mom right now because she's got brain cancer, unfortunately, and so yeah, things have been really hectic here because things are like, you know, not good with that. So it's been scary and weird and hard and very frustrating for everyone. It's just so frustrating to watch this happen like that, and it's like it's brain cancer, so there's a lot going on. But yeah, so I've been kind of like here, but also like working a lot, and like it's been rough to just make that switch between like working and being there for my mom, and then a lot of my own personal stuff has just kind of fallen in the cracks. Now it's not like I'm not gonna come back to it, and I think that's why I felt safe and comfortable dropping some things for the time being. Like I haven't been working nearly as much on Retro Spaceball, and that's okay to me because like I'm like gearing up to get back into it, but I also need to keep work coming in, you know, so I can't just like stop working. And that the client work that I've been doing for, you know, Little Screamies, the game that I just released, and you know, things I was doing for him in the past, like all of that stuff is like super awesome, you know, so I can't really turn down work when he's got it. And then also I'm finding new work. So oh yeah, there's a Pokemon chat. So yeah, I've been finding new work. Actually, one of my new I guess we're like partnering together on a game. This guy Johnny Manjuro, he's a NES developer who has like done some really inspiring work. This game, I can look it up. It's on itch. It's called Pelusa Saga. Yeah, and there's a cartridge on Broke Studios website. Get the music going back. Yeah, so you can see it's cartridge. It's actually a really dope game. It's like Zelda, except if Zelda was like a roguelite. So like, yeah.
You know this game has 2 quests? Pretty impressive, huh?
2 quests, huh? Hold my beer. Why don't we play Pelusa Saga, Kaji's Trials? A new action-adventure game for the NES. Over 200 quests.
Easy Perp says, man, wow, I can only imagine. Take your time yourself and your mom for now. I'll definitely keep her in my prayers. Thank you, and she very much appreciates that as well. Yeah, I'm sure, you know, as a human, as an adult, like death is something that everyone knows. But yeah, when it's so close, when it's your family, it's always hard. So yeah, we very much appreciate that. And yeah, and that's kind of my thing. I'm just kind of like, I'm doing whatever it takes so I don't go off the rails, you know, and just do nothing or just like, you know, I don't know. I think you know, because I used to struggle with depression, you know, I used to struggle a lot with depression back in the day, and I worry about, you know, falling back into that. So one of the things that I do, like I have like safety net, preventative measure type stuff going on. So one of the things that I do is I always continue working. I always have projects, and I always let that kind of be my rock and like guide me and stuff like that. So that's why I always have more than one. I know some people are like, how can you have more than one? But like, if I don't have something after the other one ends, like that's not good for me. You know what I mean? Like I think that's part of it. I think I need to just keep working. And but yeah, this game is super dope. I was playing it on stream, and Johnny was watching, as like a good game dev does, and we got to talking about art, and he's a NES developer, but he's also learning GB Studio, which is a engine that I've been using for over a year now, and I'm actually getting pretty decent with it. But as an artist, I can kind of fill in some of the gaps for him, because he didn't make the art on this game. He just programmed it. Obviously the programming is crazy, because this is the map. So this is half of the map really, because there's an overworld and an underworld, and they use the same grid, but they're different layout for the overworld and the underworld. So once you have the map, these get filled in with the actual like ways that you can go, right? Like if you can, like this one, you can go that way and that way. So this would be like an angle piece on the map kind of thing, right? So yeah, it's really dope. There's 3 different bosses for each randomized playthrough, but there's like 6 or 8 different bosses in the game. I'm not really sure. 8 is probably, but it could be 6. I don't know. I've seen 6, I think, unless I'm wrong. But yeah. So I've been making this other game for the Game Boy with Johnny, and that's been a lot of fun. I'm just checking my messages here. Yeah, so yeah, so we're excited for that. we're tentatively calling it Pyrotoad, or maybe Pyrotoad Fire Croaker. Let me see if I can't find that. GB Studio Art. Well, I guess it would be best to just bring up the actual game if I'm going to show that off. Yeah. So this is GB Studio. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's a lot of fun. There's no programming necessary. You can do some type of code type stuff, but it's not like what you're used to. But it's also not super difficult, and there's a lot of resources out there. It's a little weird because they keep updating the engine like super rapidly, and some of the resources are older, so there might be some conflicting information out there. But it's pretty easy to tell what's new and what's old, and the changes are awesome. So you can't really complain too much. For example, there's like slopes now, but this game doesn't use slopes because it was designed for NES, which didn't have the sloping ability, at least not with ease. You could do it in Mario 3, so I imagine you need a mapper similar to what they had to be able to do such a thing, because the NES was not super capable, and honestly the Game Boy really isn't either, so it's kind of a huge feat that they got slopes to work in this engine. But yeah, I'll hit play without further ado here. Actually, it will take a minute and like 30 seconds or something to build. But yeah, so it's hard to turn down any type of work like this that comes through where it's like, hey, do you want to do what you really want to do and get paid? Like, yes. I want to do what I really want to do and get paid. That sounds cool. Like, I like managing teams and stuff too, but like asking me to do what I'm already good at doing, like, and work on a project with someone who I'm already like inspired by, like, yeah. Like that's cool. Let's do more of that. Cause I mean, heck, if I made a job out of just making art for Game Boy games, like, that would be cool. Of course, I'd have to make my own games too. But hey, you know, yeah. So this is what we're working on. I can make it big here. Yeah, like I said, we're calling it. Tentatively, we're calling it Pyrotoad, and possibly Fire Croaker, or maybe Pyrotoad Fire Croaker. I don't know. It's still very early in the process here. A lot of the design and stuff has been made because it was being made for the NES, but yeah, we're having to make some differences. Obviously, the art and the theme and stuff is all new. Oop. So yeah, like that enemy there is old still. I'm still learning how this lily pad works. I guess if you hold down the button, you can get to the max jump, and then if you let go of the button, the jump slows down or goes lower. Yeah, you gain like a whole nother block if you're holding the button down. It's pretty cool. But if you don't know that, this jump can be kind of hard to get. Like, it can still be done, but yeah, if you're holding down the button, it makes it easy. I wonder if a good way to explain things would be like a sign and dialogue. Because it is the Game Boy, it's going to be really hard to do, like, I don't know, I guess we could write something in the background too. But that would be hard because fonts take up a lot of blocks. It's like one block per letter, essentially. So that would take up not only unique tiles, but also just space. like hold the button in the background, that would be like that whole area. Yeah, no music or sound effects for this one yet. But yeah, we're thinking about, or we're talking about doing it ourselves. So that should be cool. I haven't heard anything of Johnny's that I know of, so it'll be interesting to hear what he's capable of, but I'm fairly confident in my own abilities. So yeah, as I travel down here, it goes into the prototype world where things are completely unfinished. Hey. But yeah, the game gets harder and harder, and I'm actually not very good at the game, so I'm not gonna play it any further. And none of that stuff has art on it yet. So, but yeah, Johnny designed all of this stuff. Johnny put this together. So it's really cool to have someone who's like already like hitting the ground running with this engine. That's pretty cool, because like, you know, when I started, I didn't know how to do stuff, so I was learning, but I wasn't learning at the speed he was. I wasn't quite as motivated as him, and I didn't have a project to like kind of guide me like this, where he'd already had mechanics worked out and had to figure out how to get them to work in the Game Boy. And what's cool about the Game Boy, and actually what got me into Game Boy development, is how close it is to NES. And that sounds weird, because if you know NES, it's 6502 assembly, and Game Boy is not. I forget what Game Boy is written in, but it's, you can't use assembly or 6502 language with it. I'm pretty sure you can write assembly, but it's different. And yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of it. But what I'm talking about is the sheer way of how things are programmed, by moving like one bit at a time, kind of thing, or one byte at a time rather. So like all the variables and stuff like that, it's very much the same way of what you would do in Game Boy. It's just all written different. And there's a few major differences also, like in how things are displayed and that kind of stuff. Oh, I did start doing the art on that level, and then I stopped and started back on this level, but I didn't get very far. But yeah. Anyways, I should get back to the game, or the pixel art jam, because there's not unlimited time on this, and I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to do tomorrow. I mean, I do have the whole day, but if I stay up late tonight, then I'm probably gonna be tired. And honestly, it might be better for me to try to wake up early and do it that way than to stay up late, because I don't do very good art when I'm tired. I don't think many people do. It's hard to do art when you're tired. I kind of want this to be water. I don't know how hard that would be to do. But this almost looks more like water than anything else. It kind of looks like mowed grass or something. I don't really like it. I don't really like it that much. I think that I should use this pattern on the water area like that, and then do something else with this. Maybe I just want to make sure it was there. Maybe I'll like change it up a bit. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just experimenting here. That might look okay. Let's try that. Oop. I did it again. I always hit Control B instead of Control V, and then I'm like, wait, what the hell's going on? And then I end up with a brush that I don't want. Yeah, that does look better than the cornrows or whatever they are, the waves. But yeah, Easy Perp, if you're still around, that's really awesome. That's really awesome to hear that you've been going hard into the game dev stuff. And you said that you want to get your game on Steam. Do you have a testable build at all, or no? Oh, did I go too far again? I did. I went too far. Because that would be something that I'd be interested in playing eventually. Once you've got it to a testable state. Of course, I don't want you to rush or you know, have to feel like you gotta give me something right away or anything like that, but I'm definitely interested in the project. You know, I've been watching your animations grow and get better, and it's so cool. And you're a Unity developer as far as I know. Last I checked, right? So that's interesting to me, of course, being a Unity developer myself. Easy Perp says, I'm thinking of putting it on itch for some feedback on what I have so far. Yep, Unity. Cool. Yeah, no, once you get a itch demo up, I would definitely be interested in checking it out. What kind of game is it? What, like, I know it's a 2D side-scrolling kind of thing. It looks like it kind of has, like, almost like beat 'em up vibes or like fighting game vibes, but I can't really tell exactly how it's gonna be. It looks interesting though, like a 2D side-scrolling adventure type game maybe, or something like that. This one doesn't even look good. I don't know why I did that. That looks better. And then this here, that looks funny now. So does this one. Yeah, I've also had a great experience on itch. Everyone's like really helpful. Especially like if it's a game jam, sometimes you get a little bit more not exactly heated, but like a little bit more perfectionism, but like you might on Steam. right? The elitism that goes on in the Steam reviews, right? You don't really see that on itch. So there's a couple things that kind of happens that way. It's like some of it is like, you know, it's almost like false expectations a little bit. But as long as you recognize that Steam's not going to be like that, then that's totally fine if you ask me. Because it's good to be kind to people, and there's always a space for that, and you know. So like for me, when I'm like just like coming across games and stuff on itch, I don't really rate games. Like for game jams it's different. Like I'll rate games you know, for the jam, but when it comes to like the itch rating, I pretty much only give 5 stars because you know, not because I want that in return, but because I feel like if you put your game on itch and you're trying to like get reviews, like it deserves 5 stars. Like I can give you a comment that tells you how to make it better maybe, or how my experience was, or whatever, but like if I'm taking the time to like comment on a game that I'm just like coming across on itch, I'm gonna give it 5 stars. You know what I mean? That's just the way that I roll. But on Steam, I'm actually kind of reluctant to even give reviews. I'm sure I will eventually, but like I just feel like it can do so much damage that like unless you like really have a really good purpose for leaving that review, then like it might be better to just let someone else write it, rather than like having the reviews pile up on the person, because I just feel bad for the dev at that point, you know. Like if they know it's an issue, then they know it's an issue. They'll get to it. They don't need more than one person complaining about it, you know. But yeah, sometimes I feel like reviews on Steam, they get so elitist that it's like a badge of honor. They're like, oh, I found this bug, so therefore I have to give a terrible review, and then say mean things about the devs. It's like, it's almost like scary, some of the shit that goes on in the Steam reviews. I wanted something like Super Metroid SNES mixed with some Zelda aspects. Still working it out. Interesting. Well, I like that, you know. I think it's cool. Like, there's a lot of devs out there who will be like, oh, you need to focus on the core mechanic and know exactly what you're gonna do and have your game design or your game design document and finish it. And there is virtue to this stuff, but like, you gotta have fun, and that's like key. If you're not having fun, like all of it's gonna just go out the window. Oh shit, getting a raid. Jitspo is raiding with 22 people. Thank you for the raid, Jitspo. Very much appreciated. Welcome everybody. I'm Rick. I'm a game dev. I'm doing a pixel art jam. We've got a Morel mushroom that I'm drawing here. Yeah. Fun is key. Fun key, if you will. Yep, fun is key. Yeah, no, what I was saying is that sometimes it's easy to get caught up as a game dev of all the things that you gotta do and all the things to make money and all the different pressures and trends, and it's actually really easy to forget about making sure that you're having fun. And if you do that for too long, you'll find a different industry, because there's just not enough money being made in games to sustain a singular dev for, you know, forever. The only way you can do that is by driving yourself, by enjoying what you're doing. So it's really important. What's the story of the Morel? So the story of the Morel. So I'm taking part in a game jam here, or it's not a game jam. It's a pixel art jam. Where is that? Where is the pixel art jam? Did I lose the pixel art jam? I lost the pixel art jam. It was in here somewhere. Oh, that's not what we want. Yeah. So let me pull up a new window for the pixel art jam, since I seem to have lost it here. Oh no, here it is. I found it. We've got GB Studio Central presents the GB Pixel Art Jam 2024 Color Palette Edition. We get to choose from these 4 different palettes here. Here they are again with titles, but the titles aren't important. What's important is that the color is theme. Choose from 4 different color palettes. They will be offered at the jam start. So I chose this theme, and or this color rather, this color palette theme, and it's called Rotten Swamp. But to me, I think of mushrooms. I don't know why. Probably this color here, and then like the green, it's like the grass, and brown would be like the mud or the dirt, and then purple could be like a different tone of this, or just in between or anywhere. So yeah, and that's what I've been doing. And then so what's interesting about this is that it has to work on the Game Boy, because that's what they're doing with this. That all submissions will be included in a downloadable Game Boy ROM after the event, and then the winner gets a cartridge that's a anodized aluminum engraved cartridge. So that's pretty cool. There's actually a picture of last year's if we search anodized there it is. Anodized aluminum cartridge, GB Studio Central. Check out this picture. That was last year's prize for the Pixel Art Jam. You don't have to answer, I just wanted to make a stupid pun. What's the story of the moral? I get it. Morel, like the mushroom. Nice. Yeah, so this is the whole pixel art thing. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't really have a good excuse for why I chose mushroom, but that's what the color said to me. What's great about this jam is that, like I said, it's not judged like a normal jam. It's not like an actual game jam. There's no rating. All the prizes are arbitrarily given, I guess. I don't know exactly what that means. Maybe they just pull a name out of a hat. But what's cool about it then is that there's not a whole lot of like pressure to follow every single rule to the T. 'Cause like, that's just, why drive yourself insane? The idea is to like prompt you to do something, not to cause analysis paralysis, right? There wasn't a mushroom to do anything else with the palette. Slowly walks out of there. Slowly walks out of there. Right, there was a mushroom. Yeah, not mushroom for anything else. Exactly. I don't know if you ever tasted morel mushrooms, but they're actually like really, really good mushrooms. They're actually really expensive too, like because they're hard to. You can't really just cultivate it. Like if you were gonna like grow garden mushrooms, you can't do that with morels. They just don't work that way. They're really hard to get them to grow anywhere. You kind of have to hunt for them. I have, but it's been years. Yeah, I used to hunt for them. Right now I'm living in the Midwest, and I used to have a place that was out in the woods, and people would come to my property and hunt mushrooms there. Like, hopefully it was people that I knew. Sometimes it was strangers, because they just knew that there was mushrooms there for whatever reason. I don't know how they knew they were on my property, but they knew. And there were, man. I remember the first time that I found a morel, it was a big one. This thing was like, it was like a foot tall, right? I was like, holy cow. So I didn't know what it was. So I picked it and I dried it. Instead of eating it, I just dried it out and I held on to it. It shrunk quite a bit, but it was still like 8 inches or something, 9 inches after it dried out. I was like, holy cow. But yeah, I took some pictures of it and then I just like threw it in the weeds or something. But the next time I saw one, I think I just went over it with a lawnmower after that, and then a whole bunch of them sprung up, because that's one way to make more of them, is to like spread the spores by manually spreading them. But there has to be good conditions too. They just won't grow because you threw the spores down. Oh, there's a Pokemon in chat. We found them out in the wild one day and cooked them up with butter. Yeah, butter. If you got some steaks, throw them on some steaks. Like, they're good by themselves. You could just eat them raw, but yeah, throw some butter and cook them. You totally could. Yeah, I mean, when you find them in the wild, you want to at least rinse them off, but technically they're still good either way. I mean, you know. But yeah, no. So I chopped some up with the lawnmower, not really knowing what I was doing. I was just in a hurry to get the lawn done. And like a week later, or that same week, I think, I had a bunch of people over, and there was a bonfire, and one of the older guys, it was my friend's dad, this older dude, he was like cooking on the fire. He just started cooking. Like, he had, I think maybe he caught a fish and he was cooking a fish. Yeah, I think that's what it was. He was out fishing and he was like, oh, I got a fish, so we're gonna cook it. And so he cooked it on the fire, and while we were cooking on the fire, he's like, those are morel mushrooms. He got super excited and just like started cooking with them because he was cooking it, and like it was just like perfect. And after that, I was like, okay, I need to eat these things. And me and my friends would start hunting for them. But yeah, I never got like a big haul or anything like that, but I was always happy to find a few. I'd go out and buy a steak. Ah, no one caught the Vulpix. Yeah, so this is what I've been working on. It's all tile based, because the concept of the jam, where did the jam go? It has to use no more than 192 unique 8x8 tiles. So I've been using this tile counter to help me. It has a heat map to show you which tiles are unique and which tiles aren't. And then you've got the tile map here if you want to download it or whatever. But yeah, it's nearly done. I could do a save and export and do a new tile count. See how we're doing on that. Although there are some things that I see that already that need to be cleaned up. Where did that go? This one. So 189, it's getting closer. We only got 192, so that's what, 3 left? 3 more unique tiles left. But like I said, there's a few things that I wanted to clean up. See if I can zoom in here. Yeah, so like this one here and this one here, that one there. There's a few things that got paint bucketed that didn't need to be. And then there's a few other things that I could just kind of clean up anyways, like this. I don't know what's going on. There's like 1 pixel difference or something on these two. Oh, no, I see it. Yep. They're supposed to be like that. Or maybe not. No, they're not supposed to be like... I don't know what it is. But yeah. So there's some things I could clean up to gain a few unique tiles. That way I can kind of blend some things a little bit better. So that's what we're gonna do here, is try to gain some unique tiles. Oh yeah, I see the difference now. If we take a closer look, this is completely different than that. Where else were they? Oh yeah, this stuff up here. Like this stuff up here, I kind of wanted to have some uniqueness up there. And same with this corner. Just try to like bring your eyes in to this. You can kind of see the composition based on where the unique tiles are. But yeah, I'm a game dev, so I do a lot of different stuff. I like to do Game Boy stuff, obviously, but that's kind of like a recent development in the last year or so. I went to college for 3D animation way back in the day now. I graduated in 09, and then after that, I started doing solo stuff because there wasn't a whole lot of hiring going on in the games industry or in any industry really at the time. And so I just kind of hunkered down and learned how to program and taught myself. Well, the whole idea was like, if no one else is gonna animate my art, how else is it gonna move? I better animate it program it myself, right? So because I was an animator in college, I did 3D animation and stuff. I did a lot of 2D animation before college, so that was always a thing for me. I was always into retro games and modding games, so I was already modding things like Doom and stuff before college. I ended up doing a lot of freelancing stuff after college because I wanted to stay with it and keep the skills that I had, and that helped me a lot. Eventually I started doing more and more freelancing, and that became more and more like game dev work, until I was actually working for game studios, but always small indie studios, nothing AAA ever. I used to apply for AAA studios back when I was right out of college, but I gave up on that because it was disheartening. You get a whole lot of nothing. You don't even get rejections, you know. I don't know, I have some stories about that. But eventually I just kind of gave up on AAA or even III, and I just kind of I just kind of let work come to me now, honestly. And that's been a lot better. It's been a lot better. I don't know how it started happening, but like eventually, once I stopped working at like the shitty picture framing studio I was working at, like, I don't know, it was like there was vibes out there or something, and like the world just like gave me a job, and that was pretty cool. And then that turned into the job that I have now, and this would look better with the outline, I think. Yeah. And so now on the side I get to manage a team of game developers, and that's pretty dope. And then I run my own studio, and then I'm also working with another game developer on like a joint project. So I'm like getting all of this work, and I still have my own work, and I don't have a full-time job anymore, so pretty happy with that. I really want to get more into streaming again, but like I was discussing earlier, I'm living with my folks right now. My mom is dealing with cancer. She's got brain cancer, so, and that's like kind of getting to its worst at this point, which is really messed up. But you know, not to trauma dump, but that's what I'm going through, and that's one of the reasons why I like to keep working. And yeah, actually things are pretty chill right now. My mom and her husband actually just took a plane to Florida. They have a home down there that they're like in between moving to when all of this happened, so they're probably gonna sell it, and it's a little bit disappointing because my mom really wanted to like live there, and that's probably not going to happen at this point. So they're spending a lot of time there, which I don't blame them. It's like a vacation home for them, so that didn't look as good. What am I doing wrong? I'm just gonna leave that like it was. Maybe on the inside? Wasn't that what I was just doing? Maybe I just need to trust myself. See what it looks like with an outline. If I don't like it, I can always Control Z. Or just draw it back if I need to. I kind of like it. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so I did know what I was doing. But yeah, since I'm currently not at my own place, don't currently have my own place, in between places, streaming is a little bit difficult. But since I've got the place to myself right now, it's perfect. And soon I will have my own place. It's just, yeah, one of those things. I'm planning on streaming quite a bit more once I have my own place, actually. Try to do it as much as possible, and try to like really kind of expand my network and all of that stuff. But yeah, I've got all those projects going on. I didn't even mention Retro Spaceball, which has been like my biggest project for like the past 7 years. Because that's kind of on the back burner, but it's kind of not. I'm kind of gearing up to make that like my main thing again. And eventually get a Steam demo out finally. That's the plan with Retro Spaceball. There's a demo on itch that it's fun to play, but it's got a few issues that I'm not afraid to admit, but I'm working those issues out. I don't like this tile. Just get rid of it. Use the unique tile elsewhere. Yeah, I don't know if that's probably gonna look too fence-like, huh? Like there's a Pokemon in chat. A wild Delibird. Is that one shaped like a sandwich, I wonder? I don't know. Yeah, I don't really like the whole posts in the background thing. I liked it better when they looked like trees. And oh, those are the same, aren't they? I should probably put that back. Yeah, I just don't like it how it looks the same though. It shouldn't be the same. It should be different, which is why I changed it. Alright, I think I kind of want to do something about the green now. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. Go to this other one and make a better green. Oh, these are not the colors that I want. These are the colors I want. So this is the green. How do I make it more grass-like? And I think I only have one tile at my disposal. Maybe two. I don't know, maybe that works. So let's try that. That actually works pretty well. Let's see how it looks without that. I don't like it. It kind of like flattens it, right? Maybe there's just too much. Maybe it needs to be more green. Or maybe it's too dark? What if there's like all the colors? Look more like cactus. Wait, what am I doing? I fucked that up. That doesn't look any better either. It's just doing the same thing. It's like making it flat. Also, it looks like aloe vera now. Or like a prickly pear. I don't know. How many? I need to see how many tiles I've got here. Because this is getting close. Let's do a save. Oh, not a save as. We want to export. $11 exports. We got copy. Oh, I don't need to copy it. I'm gonna drag it. Where is that? So 179, that's actually pretty good. That means we've got like freaking 10 to work with. 10, 12, 13, 14 tiles to work with. That's pretty dope. I feel like, so if we did unique tiles for all of the grass, we're only losing 3 duplicates. Oh, maybe 4. But we've got room for that. Let's give it a shot. And the screen is bright. Get out of here. They need to make a dark mode for that. My eyes have like dried out on me here. Give me a second while I rub my eyes here. Holy cow. Alright. So the grass is gonna get custom treatment, I think, here. Let's just draw some lines. Oh, not like that. Like this. I don't like how that's looking. Jeez. This close, but not this straight. That looks better. Because it's gotta have like just the right amount of curve to it. Like it's gotta look straight, but not too straight. Otherwise it won't look like grass. It'll look like it's made out of metal or something. This one's rough because it was so tiny. Let's put that grid back on. This one needs an outline. I'm pretty happy with this, how this is turning out. Still have room for more details to blend the background as well as the mushroom. I'm going to do another export and see where it's at. Since we're getting closer. The changes are less and less. But I want to know how many tiles I have left exactly. So. Alright, yeah, so we jumped up to 181, but we managed to save these two, so that's cool. Still got 11 more unique tiles to work with here, so we can maybe do something here. This one is already unique, but and maybe something along the edges here. Yeah. Alright, so back to our guy, our little shroomy. I kind of want to fix it now. Oh, well, these ones are already unique. Huh. So, kind of fucking up two tiles here. Why don't I just fuck up the one? Hold on. There's a better way to do this. What if I just blend it like this? This actually works pretty well, I think. I don't know, it's a little bit too mechanical still, but it's close. I think if I just move things down like by 1 pixel, like, well, it'll still be a unique tile, but it won't look like it as much. It'll look like, well, I don't know, let's see. You don't even notice it. But if we did another one here, yeah, we're losing another unique tile, but we're giving it an angle. So probably too slight to really notice, so we might want to mess with that more here. But Well, it looks better than it did. At least it looks blended in. But also, I think I can do some more shading on these. Yeah, I was looking at references of morel mushrooms before this, and there's a lot of really cool mushrooms out there. I kind of want to do more variation with this pattern because it looks so, it's almost like obnoxious in how uniform it is, considering it's like a mushroom that's like never uniform. But yeah, you can't have that many unique tiles, so. But also the color of the morel looks kind of off with the green in there. I'm wondering if I should maybe take the green out, or maybe use it more sparingly. I don't know. But what if it was only in the little circles? Kind of like that better. Oh yeah, I like that better. Yeah, one time I found a morel mushroom in Yellowstone National Park. It was crazy. Like, there was a buffalo jam, right? They have, instead of traffic jams, they have buffalo jams. I mean, they have traffic jams too, but they're usually caused by buffaloes. So we just call them, or bison, right? Bison jams, right? Buffalo jams, yeah. So you get a lot of cars and a lot of traffic and a lot of bison. So there was like a bunch of people, not just me, like a bunch of people had to use the bathroom because it's like a, you know, Yellowstone National Park out in the middle of nowhere. A bunch of tourists gotta use the bathroom. They had to use the bathroom before they left where they were going before, probably. Yellowstone's huge park. I don't know if anyone in chat's been there. It's 1 million acres. So it's big. So you can be driving for a long time and then get stuck behind some bison. So we actually lucked out. There was a restroom not far, because you can't just like go to the bathroom anywhere in Yellowstone. You get like in big trouble for that. So you don't want to do that. So that we went to the like outhouse is what it was, right? And there was a morel mushroom just to the side of the outhouse, and I did not eat it. Actually, I didn't pick it either, because you're not supposed to. It's a big deal. You can get in trouble for picking a mushroom in Yellowstone. So don't do that either. Go to Yellowstone. Be very careful. Yep. But that looks better. I like this better. It looks more like a morel too. I kind of think that this needs to be broken up a bit more. I wonder what that would look like tiled. I think it's kind of getting around, huh? Actually, that kind of looks good. Maybe more formed in the back. Oh. Sorry, I just realized that I didn't have YouTube chat pulled up at all, so I wanted to make sure that was pulled up just in case. Alright. This needs something, maybe some green. Well, at least there's one tree trunk that made it into the drawing. The original idea was going to have trees. That's what these are supposed to be, I guess. Trees in the distance or something. I don't really know. At least I'm invoking some sort of depth that is occurring. I can feel it because there's like a little mound of dirt that it sits on, and then behind it there's like a natural blurriness that occurs from this tiling, and then it shifts as it gets further back. The more you look at it, the more you identify that it's a tiling pattern, but if you look at the subject, then you see the depth. Oh shit, the Indie Maniac is rating with Party of 10. Hey Indie Maniac, thanks so much for rating. Yeah, sorry I wasn't watching your stream there towards the end, but yeah, I wanted to get on this pixel art jam before it was too late, because there's only so many hours left on this pixel art jam. How dare you, Rick? Kixie says, whoa, that's looking good. Thank you so much, Kixie. Yeah, but thanks again for streaming Little Screamies. That was such a blast watching you play. I was actually like laughing my ass off the whole time. But I was also like, you know, taking notes and like being very professional about it. But also just cracking up hysterically at like every little thing, because it like it's amplified when you made it yourself, you know what I mean? Like, so I was having fun. But yes, this is what I'm working on. We've got a morel mushroom, and it was a fun game. Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm glad that you had fun. That was our goal. You know, it's funny because one of my streamer buddies, the Electric Mindset, got the chance to play an early version of Little Screamies, and it was not as good, and he did not have as much fun, and his like his takes really shifted us. Like we you know, it was like if you ever like, you know, like lick your finger and put it to the wind. That's what it felt like, and like we're like, oh shit, we're going the wrong direction on this, and so we had to change gears on a few major things, and it really shifted development. But at the same time, it wasn't because of my friend, it was because what we had made needed adjustment, and we had finally gotten the feedback that we needed. So we were actually super grateful for my friend for giving that feedback. So you can thank him for it being as smooth as it was, because it was not smooth for him. Wow, it's really cool that you got that good feedback. Yeah, you know, and I kind of had to pull it out of him, to be honest, because and Kixie, you know the Electric Mindset. He can be very critical and crucial and just like very real. He takes it really seriously in like the best way possible. The way I always describe him to people who don't know him, especially indie devs, is I say that he's essentially a QA. He's essentially a professional QA that does it for free. He's like a professional QA that does it pro bono, but only for projects that he really cares about. And it's like he does such a great job. He makes like a little like document based on the feedback and all this stuff. He does so much more than what normal like streamers do when they're like, oh, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. This dude actually has a document, and he's done this for a few games, and he says, I try to be nice but also be real about the feedback. Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely nuance in how you say it. There's definitely nuance in how you say it, but the more professional it is, you know, the more straight to the point you can be also, right? And as long as you like preface it with like, hey, I'm not like trying to hurt your feelings here, but your game's got some problems and I want you to fix it. Like, that's the best you can do. Like, that's perfect. That's exactly what devs need, you know? Because when you're in it, you don't have the same experience. You just don't. It's not the same anymore. You're locked off from the experience. So you can imagine, as a player, that makes it very, very difficult. So the only way to fix that is to figure out what the experience is like secondhand. I mean, you can try to guess And like as you do more game development, it gets easier to guess. But you always get thrown for a loop, so it's always important to test with as many people as possible. I refreshed by mistake and got an ad, but I'm back. Yeah, sorry about that, but I'm an affiliate now, so there's that. Yeah, sorry about the ads. I always felt bad about the ads before when people would get stuck in ads, so eventually I actually like left the affiliate to try to prevent that, but we'll see how it goes now. I should do like, I don't know, ads where you I don't know how to do the ad stuff. The ad stuff is new to me. I really don't know anything about it. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Very exciting. Back in affiliate. Yeah, I don't know if I actually had to jump through the hoops again, but I did. But when I gave them the email, they were like, "Oh, thanks for rejoining the affiliate program." It like didn't even look at my stats. So I guess once you're in it, they're happy with what you can do. But oh, this one could use some color. I should make sure that I'm in the right thing. Oh, yeah, look at that. I'm going outside the lines here, aren't I? Or am I? No, this is fine. Oh. Twitch needs the money, all the money they can get. Yeah, yep. That's how that works, right? But yeah. We'll see how that works. I already have my first subscriber in chat. We've got Easy Perp. I don't know if anyone's met Easy Perp. He's a game dev. Could probably do a little shout out here. Kixie, you want to try the shout out command? See if that works. If it doesn't, then that would be disappointing. Actually, I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Don't break it. Easy Perp needs a shout out. Easy, like the letters, and then Perp. I think he's still in chat. Maybe he left. Oh, ah! Dropped my mouse. Oh yeah, he's still in chat. He's still in chat. Did it not work? It didn't work. Okay. So I think I didn't link up OBS. I think that's the problem here. I think I can fix this. So you gotta when you do the mix it up, you gotta link your OBS every time you launch it, huh? What is going on here? Did I just break it? Did I break the stream? Did I break OBS? Did OBS crash? I think OBS just crashed. Check microphone. I think it crashed. And I was muted because, yep, it crashed. So, well then, maybe I can't fix it. Welcome back. Thank you. I'm still trying to fix it. I'm gonna crash it again. Oh, did I not get the password? I thought I had it. I jinxed it. So no emotes. I just got affiliate, so no, I have not made the emotes. I made a currency thing, and then that was it. What was I doing? Oh, I was gonna do this. Okay. Oh, fuck, what am I doing? It didn't work still. It still doesn't work. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I clearly don't know how to work Mix It Up. I had it working, and now I don't know. And he says, I break the games I play, you break your stream every damn week. Oh, you're talking about Kixie. I see. I like to think of it as stress testing. There you go. You could be Q&A or QA for the apps and stuff for OBS. I was told breaking games is a good thing. Depends if you're the dev or if you're the player or what you are, right? If you're just breaking games. This tile doesn't look right. Oh shit, that's not right. I don't know if this one helps. I'm gonna put this tile there. I think that looks better. And then that in the background needs some color. Maybe do green. Although then it would kind of look like the leaf, huh? Kind of look better like that. Like it was just like a piece of dark stuff. It almost, I feel like there needs something over here doing the opposite. But I don't know how many tiles we got. Let's find out. Save, export. This one's gonna be 13. Go back to this thing. $185. So we still got tiles. Oh, that's what that is. Okay, I was just checking my messages there. Let's see. Back here we got yeah, I think something could go here. Or even across two tiles like that. As a whole, I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. I feel like I'm kind of struggling with this little piece here, but sometimes that's what it takes. Like, I see it in my head, but when I draw it, it doesn't look like how I want it to look in my head. Yeah, I think that might be it. Sometimes less is more. Hey RSVP, how you doing? Push those pixels. Thanks for joining chat. Great to see you here. Yeah, RSVP. She does game dev and pixel art, and also plays some games. Yeah, very cool to have you here. What are you working on? I am working on this mushroom. It is for the GB, where did it go? That's not the right one. The GB Pixel Art Jam 2024. So this is super cool if you've never heard of it. They did it last year and I had a lot of fun with that. I think I have the one I did last year somewhere. Somewhere around here. Oh. Yeah, this is the one I did last year. So this year the theme is color, and it's for Game Boy Color. Last year it was all for the DMG Game Boy, the old school 4 colors. Some people call it black and white, but it wasn't quite black and white. But yeah, so there's a bunch of rules because it actually ends up on a Game Boy. So it has to be 8x8 tiles, no more than 192 unique 8x8 tiles, 160 by 144 pixels, original piece of work, safe for work, no AI. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. Very much appreciate that. Yeah, so there's 16 hours and 20 minutes left in the jam if anyone wants to join. Yep, you can only do one submission, and all the submissions get included in the downloadable Game Boy ROM after the event. So that alone is a cool enough reason. But then there's also, this is last year's prize, so they're gonna do that again, I'm pretty sure. I think I read that the first prize or whatever is an anodized engraved cartridge, aluminum cartridge with the pixel art jam contents on the ROM. Yeah, very cool. So I'm pretty excited about it. Obviously I don't think I'm gonna win this, but also it's the judging, they say, is arbitrary. What did it say? Ten submissions will be randomly selected to win Game Boy Kart. One will be selected to of the 10 winners, one will be selected to win a special anodized aluminum card. So it seems like what they do is they select 10 randomly and then choose the best of those 10. So all of the 10 that randomly get selected get a free ROM cartridge, and then the one of them gets the special anodized aluminum one. But I think that they make more than 9 of the regular ones, so that way they can sell them after the jam. So if you want a copy of it and you don't get one for free, you can buy it, and I don't think they're that expensive. Like, you know, I don't think they're making a huge profit off of it. But yeah, Brandon James Greer, he's that guy who draws things with little squares on YouTube. I don't know these other ones. Oh, Bad Dad, that's familiar, but I think just from the last one. But yeah, it's fun. You can see last year's submissions too if you do a search. Oh, I can't spell. I can't see what I'm typing, so that makes it hard. What happened there? What's going on with that? Oh, I bet it's because I'm zoomed out, aren't I? No, I'm not. That was weird that it did that. So I just searched Pixel Art Jam, and you can see there's already some submissions for this year. But then there's last year's too. Oh dang, that's hype. So do you have to use one of those palettes at the top of the itch page? So yeah, for the color, for this year's color one, you have to use one of the palettes. So you can see like this person used that palette, that person used this other palette, that palette. So this one used like the blood palette or whatever. So yeah, you're constricted to that. I chose, where did it go? I chose the, oh, did I close the window? I did. Go back. Go back. Yeah, so these 4 palettes we choose from. Here they are again. I chose this one, Forgotten Swamp. But it says, please note, colors are more important. The titles are not the theme. They're just for reference. Make what you want with the color set. Careful using the concepts of blood. Keep it family friendly. So yeah. Pretty exciting. I had trouble thinking of anything, so a mushroom kind of came to me, so I just kind of drew that, and then I kind of like it. I kind of like the way it's going here. Oh, that was the old one. Kind of like the way it's going. Oh, we got a stray pixel here. But yeah, and then also I've got this Game Boy game that I'm making. I'll let it build here for a second. It takes about a minute or so to build. But yeah, I'm working on a game with Johnny Manjiro, who made Palooza Saga Kaji's Trials for NES, and we're making a Game Boy game. So he was looking for an artist, so I jumped on with him. So we're gonna do half and half, and then split the music as well, and the sound effects. And he's actually got a lot of it done already. You can see it looks like he has 13 levels done already. But yeah, he's talking about doing more. So, and I'm behind on the art because I joined the project late. Like I said, he started it for NES. He ran into some problems coding it for the NES, mainly with the scrolling, I believe. So that's why he switched to GB Studio. So here's the first level with all of the art and stuff. Well, not all of the art, some of it's still missing. So I made this little frog guy, and he's a pyro toad. There's no music or sound effects yet. So pyro toad goes to the torches and shoots fire at the brambles. and can jump. So yeah, that's the enemy that I haven't made art yet for. It's still the placeholder art. But yeah, I made the fireflies, and I made this lily pad here. And I made the lava. Oh, whoa, the lava, and it died. But yeah, I'm a big fan of GB Studio now. I've been using it for about a year, or over a year now, and it's just so much fun to use. The iteration time is pretty fast. Building stuff doesn't take long. It's so much just more lightweight than Unity. It's crazy. Like the footprint is like so much smaller than using Unreal or Unity. And the community is awesome. Community is just fantastic. I love using pixel art to make games, and like the limitations are really cool. Oh, lots of jams and stuff. And yeah, GB Studio is like way easy to use. I was like really surprised on how easy it is to make a Game Boy game. Oh, I could change that art there. I didn't even notice that. This is like stacked on top of that, where this one is not stacked. I should change that. But yeah, so that's the first level, and then it goes to Prototype World. But the game gets really hard from here, so I'm not going to just keep playing and dying. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun making that. But yeah, I wanted to do this pixel art jam because it's only for the weekend. I'm pretty happy with it, really. Like, I don't think it's finished, but I still got a few tiles left. So like, I could fix this to make this look more I don't know, what's the word? Integrated? More seamless? Or something? I don't know. Maybe that's not what I want. I think this one needs to change. If I had more time, I'd make a jam entry, because that's mad cool. It's just a PNG you have to make for the jam? Yep, it's just a PNG. Also, the frog game looks great. Thank you. Yeah, the actual submission is just a PNG. It just has to follow all those rules, so that way they can fit it into the game jam. And yeah, the engine that they're using to make it just had a new update that allows you to import color images in there, as long as it's like using 4 colors that can be used by Game Boy Color. I believe is how that works. So they made it easy by choosing the colors for you, so that way as long as you're using only those colors, it will load on to the cartridge that they're making with color. So that's pretty exciting. But yeah, I would love to see your submission if you have time. Of course, it is one of those things. There's a time limit, and it is dwindling away. I've only got 16 hours, 9 minutes, and 56 seconds. But that is enough time to make something. I don't know how many pixels it is exactly, but we're about to find out. It's only 23,040 pixels, so it shouldn't take you that long. But yeah, like I said, one of the biggest limitations is the tile count. So if we look at the 192 unique 8x8 pixel tiles, and then this is what I've been using to help me, is this website. They actually offer it at the bottom of this page here, this Potamus tile counter. it has a heat map and tells you which tiles are being used the most, or which tiles are unique and which tiles are being repeated. And you can see there's like an issue here where these tiles are different than these tiles, even though they're supposed to be the same. So I can actually go in and fix that. Yeah, you can see that there's like a pixel difference on those tiles, even though they're supposed to be the same. And then I can just copy, paste, and that fixed that issue. Your stream was still frozen on my stream. I had to refresh. Oh no, how long was it frozen, Kixie? Was it all the way from back when it crashed? Because that was ages ago. Oh no. Were you at least getting the audio, or was it nothing? You were just getting nothing. You missed out. But yeah, Kixie, RSVP is a VTuber. She's a goblin VTuber, and she does pixel art as well as game development, and then she also plays games too. She has a really fun stream. I've been checking it out recently. I think a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I stumbled across it and was like, oh wow, cool, another game dev who does pixel art. Curlytail, welcome. I'm thinking of making an entry, but I don't know what to make. I had the same issue, Curlytail. I totally did. And then I was just like looking at the colors and thinking like individually, I was like, where did it go? Individually, I was looking at the palettes and I was, let's get real close here. I was like, what do these colors mean to me? You know what I mean? Like, look deep within yourself. What do these colors mean to you? Just if only one, that's all you need is a starting point, right? And I was looking at this and it's kind of like a mushroom color, you know? And I like morel mushrooms and I like foraging and stuff like that, but I kind of missed that because I wasn't able to do it in Arizona when I was there for 6 years, because can't really eat any of the mushrooms that grow there. There aren't a whole lot of mushrooms that grow there unless you're in the mountains, which I was in the valley. So it was pretty much too hot for mushrooms. I did see some mushrooms, but they were the scary type that you don't want to eat. Or at least as far as I know, they looked scary. But yeah, I missed foraging. I miss going out into the woods. And the purple's kind of like, I love purple, but I don't, it's kind of like my anything here. It's like, this is grass, this is the mushroom, and maybe rocks or light, like reflected light. This is the dark and dirt or whatever, and this is just like anything else that I want it to be, I think. And then you can kind of mix these two midtones to make anything else too. RSVP says, I'm pretty sure you've been in before, to be honest, Kixie. I think I might have told Kixie, hey, check out this streamer, because I have a tendency to do that. Yeah, so that could have been that. I think you did great with the palette. Thank you, Kixie. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so I wouldn't know what to do with these others. I really like this palette, but I don't know what to do with it, you know? And then we had those jam entries. Let's zoom out here and maybe open link a new tab. All right. So yeah, like, they did a really great job with this, but I couldn't have come up with that idea, you know what I mean? Like, to them, that palette spoke to them to say like, I'm gonna draw this, like, and that looks dope. But I could not have come up with that. Like, this is dope. This is super cool. This is the kind of stuff that I used to draw when I was a kid, like elongated bodies and stuff like that. But again, it's like, where do you get the inspiration for this stuff? It's like super cool. Like these repeating diamonds, I love that. Like that's so cool about the Game Boy, is that in order to make it work, you have to use some type of repetition. It's like a puzzle, figuring out how to use the repetition to best benefit the piece. This is from last year, but again, you can see this repetition they used, and they did a pretty good job with it. Some of them look more like video games, which is fine. Other ones look more like a cutscene or something like that. Here's another one with the palette. That's cool because it's like a mock-up. Ooh, look at this one. Yeah, it's like another mock-up, but there's like perspective, depth. I don't even know what's going on back there, but it's cool. I don't know what type of game that would be. Maybe it's a RPG. It's a turn-based RPG, maybe. You got items, attack, action. They all look so good. They do. The first one could be a black and white, like, horror scene with the red for blood. So you do gotta be careful with the blood, because it is a safe for work thing, so no gore allowed. But yeah, they kind of set people up for failure with that, which is probably why they have this, like, while using the concepts of blood, keep it family friendly. And then like somewhere down here in the rules, I think it said no gore. Maybe I made that up. Yep, here it is. No depictions of violence, gore, nudity, or sexual activity. I should really get to bed since I'm way past my bedtime, but I'm excited to see your finished piece. Thanks so much for dropping in. It's really awesome to see you here. Good night. RPG was my guess too. Yeah, I think we're right. I think that was a RPG. At first I couldn't really figure it out, but the buttons and the UI, that was a unique way of making a an RPG. Very interesting. That's cool how they put their progress. Like you can see they started with a silhouette and then they refined it. Very cool. Ooh, look at this one. I love the dithering. Also the checker pattern, it's so earthbound. I love it. Oh, went the wrong way there. What are we doing here? Ooh, this one's cool too. It's like a Mega Man vibe. This is the palette that I'm using. Artful Blood. There you go. There you go. This one's cool too. Kixie, that's right up your alley, I think, right? I know you said you liked the palette. The witch is crazy. Yeah. No, she's something, that's for sure. I like the hat and the stick, right? Because they have that same kind of motion. Like the brim of the hat and then the stick. But also like that... The curve of the top of the hat is like perfect, right? It's like... It's almost like hair, but it's definitely the top of the hat. And like... It serves the same function as hair, but like... It's definitely the top of the hat. But also, it's not like pointing off of the page like the top of the hat normally would. Like it's cool. It's a cool way of doing it. And also you can see that the this shape of the hat is repeated with the hair down here, which is awesome. So it does this thing where your eye jumps back and forth whether you recognize it or not. And then here it is again, that same shape. And here it is again, and here it is again. So that is like just good design. It's got this circular pattern too. So when your eyes reach this point, they just go right back into it. And if they don't get drawn back here, then they get drawn back in here. Yep, really impressive piece. Someone's got a cat. We gotta look at that. Oh shit. A massive cat. The size of a city. That's what it looks like to me. But also, are these like hands? And then there's like a massive bird egg there too. It's interesting. It's almost surreal. Cute. Very cute. Yeah, I like the treatment of the face here. The whiskers. Ooh, look at this one. That's cool. Wow. I like this one. I don't know who CT is. What is this? Oh wow, more examples. So this low specs site, I feel like I've been here before, and it's got like a whole bunch of palettes. So Kixie, this might be something that could be useful for you, you know, like learning and testing out new things, and experimenting and stuff. Like this palette screams Kixie. Of course, you probably have your own palette that you've already worked out for Kixie stuff. But yeah, this site's pretty cool. I closed the window, but I want it open. Oh wait, that's not the one. This. Oh, I keep going back to that. I want browse. Pixel art jam. I closed the window that I wanted to be open. Here's another with that. This one must have just came in because it wasn't there earlier. That's interesting. Ocean land. I like the landscape. There's like a happy face guy there. Airplane's a nice touch. I don't think this one was here either. I like that. I like the patterns. It reminds me of Fez. I don't know if you guys played Fez. Oh wow, that one's so cool. Which one was that, Kixie? Was that this one? I like how it's like a postcard. And then there's like the edge of another one here. It's almost like an intro to an anime or something. Indie Maniac says, I played Fez, such a cute game. Yeah, I liked Fez. I actually really enjoyed Fez. I know there was a whole lot of discourse about the developer and all that, but the game was actually turned out really good, I thought. The color palette thing you showed me. Cool. There was? What happened with the dev? What do you mean? You don't know anything about Phil Fish? You don't know the story about Phil Fish? I've seen Fez around, but that's it. Fez is cool. It's a 2D-ish platformer. It's actually a 3D platformer, but it's 2D because you're only seeing 2 dimensions at once. But it has this gimmick, I guess you would call it, or this feature where you rotate the world to get to across the puzzles, right? So it's made in this way where you can kind of jump very far because there's no Z depth, and then when you rotate it, all of a sudden you just made a really far jump, but it didn't look like it. It only looked like a short jump. And the other, it's hard to explain, but it's cool. Tea time. Hopefully that's not the terrible tea. But yeah, I can't tell if you're being serious about the discourse around Fez or not, because I thought everyone knew about Phil Fish because of the indie game, the movie, where they made it pretty clear. Oh, that's interesting that there's no preview on this one. Maybe they haven't uploaded it yet. Because I feel like we're getting part of it cut off. But yeah, I guess Indie Game the movie is old now. Ooh, look at this one. This one looks really cool. Look at that. Look at that. How did they even do that? That's so cool. Like this is cool too. Like, I like that. But like the eye is so textured. It's a shame that they didn't have any more unique pixels for the Kalara or whatever, however the fuck you pronounce that. The white. Pokecatch. Oh shit, there's a Pokemon in chat. I haven't heard about it, honestly. I can look it up if it's not something that can be said out loud here. No, it's not that bad, actually. I honestly wasn't sure if you were like joking around. But yeah, he was apparently like a big asshole on social media. Well, what happened was people kept begging him for the game to come out, and like he won an award like way earlier than like normal people do. This was back in the day, mind you, when indie games weren't coming out like fucking thousands at a time, right? So it stood out because of the gimmick or the feature of you know, twirling the world around the 2D surface, like game area. And oh, it looks like I caught the Pokemon. Well, that doesn't feel as good when I'm the only one who caught it. So yeah, all that really happened was that like everyone was kind of sick of the way that he would treat the public, and then he said some things about Japanese indie game developers, which was kind of shitty. But apparently a lot of people agreed with him at the time. But it's actually kind of interesting because he was saying that Japanese developers didn't have like they were behind, that they were far behind in making, and that we were killing them at making good indie games. And it's kind of the opposite now, where Japan is actually like kind of breaking the mold now, where here in America, even on the indie game scene, like you guys were talking about, earlier, where everything is a Metroidvania, everything is a roguelite, you know, or it's a spitting image of something that already existed. And don't get me wrong, you probably see some of that in Japan too, but what stands out more is like just the sheer variety that we're getting. And maybe I don't have any good examples like right in front of me, but I think Palooza Saga actually stands out. And honestly, I don't know if Johnny Manjiro is native to Japan, but that's where he lives, so he is a developer living in Japan. But also Manjiro sounds like a Japanese name, so but yeah, anyways, back to Phil Fish. Yeah, he had like a partner when he started the project, and then the partner wanted out and then sued him, so he had a lot of like tension already brewing. And then during the interviews for this movie, the indie game, the movie, which I'm surprised that you haven't seen, Indie Maniac, you should probably check it out. Indie Game, the movie, it's called. Yeah, so during the filming of that, they film him at PAX, and his game just like keeps breaking at PAX, and it's kind of funny. And then like, yeah, it's just like he's like overly dramatic, and like it works well for the documentary, but also it kind of makes him look like a jerk. And I don't think it was the documentary's doing. I think it was that he kind of looks like a jerk. And so then the next thing that happened was that people kept like, I don't know, people were people on the internet, right? And he was like, what? You people are being people on the internet? You don't deserve Fez 2. That's what he said. He said, I'm stopping production on my game. You don't deserve the sequel to the game that was like best selling or whatever. And it's because of you. It's not because of me. It's because of the fans not deserving the game. And like, I think that was kind of the nail in the guy's coffin as far as like developer relations go. What a dick. Yeah, exactly. So he's not, I mean, he didn't like, I mean, don't get me wrong, he was, as far as we know, he never mistreated like employees. I mean, he did get sued by his partner, but you know, there's a lot of things that he did right that we can applaud him for, you know, that a lot of other devs kind of fuck up, especially bigger devs. It seems like a lot of times big devs, they end up thinking they can kind of get away with anything, and then, you know, it doesn't work out that way. But you know, it's like drama and stuff like that. But Indie Game the movie was actually quite pivotal for everything, really. In fact, part of the reason why indie games are so popular right now is because of Indie Game the movie. It's kind of crazy. It changed so many things that it's hard to even think about what it would be like without it right now. But it's not something we think about all the time because it's already like 15 years old or something. And like, yeah, a 15-year-old movie is an old movie. And it wasn't like the world's greatest movie either. It was just very inspiring for a lot of people. It motivated a lot of people. Give me a canvas size for my daily pixel art. Well, I've been using this 160 by 144 a lot. It's kind of my go-to canvas size these days. I do like it. It seemed big at first, but if you break it down by 8 by 8 tiles, it gets smaller. Of course, you could, you know, do 128 by 128 if you wanted something square, and you know, somewhat close to the same size, a little bit smaller. I tend to stick to the boring powers of 2, right? But you know, that's me. I tend to crop things. Like I'll work at like game dev sizes, right? and then I'll crop things from there if I want to make it look good for social media or something like that. But yeah, the way that most game engines work, and pretty much all game engines, I'm pretty sure, because of the way that graphics work on the computer, is that it needs a square to work with. So if it's not a square, it'll make it into a square. So that means if you've got a rectangle and you give it to a game engine, it will turn it into a square so it can better work with it. So it actually makes more sense to pack things into squares for game development, and not just any squares, but squares that are powers of 4 or powers of 2. So yeah, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 1024, 2048, 4096, and you don't really need to go bigger than 4096 these days yet, especially for textures and stuff like that. You get bigger than that and you're asking for trouble. But it won't be long before we're doing 8K textures. In fact, I think some studios are probably already doing that, at least for R&D, research and development purposes. Yeah, you know, it's crazy, the AAA stuff, right? Because you get what is it? So you end up with, well, first of all, the technology is moving faster and faster and faster all the time, right? And then you end up with games that take like, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years sometimes, with like big teams working on it. So the technology that they had when they started those games isn't the technology that they're using when the game comes out, if that makes sense, right? So like Helldivers 2, I don't know if you guys played that one at all, but it's like a AAA game. It's like, you know, it's not breathtaking. It's not you know, like cyberpunk quality, or maybe it's close to that, but you know, it's not like leaning on its graphics. It's leaning on its gameplay, but it's got, you know, next gen graphics. Anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is that that game was in development for a long time, and when it started development, I think well, I'm not sure. Let's look up so we're not screwing up numbers here. When did Helldivers 2 development start? In 2016, right? So we're at 2024, right? 2016, that was when I moved to Arizona. That was 6 years ago, 7 years ago. This was back before I started Retro Spaceball that Helldivers 2 started. 8 years, right? So they didn't have 4090s when they started Helldivers. They just didn't. I mean, I don't think the 4090 was out yet at that point, right? But they probably had something that was top of the line because they had to start production on this game that was going to come out 8 years later, right? But yeah, AAA is like that. AAA is some crazy shit. But yeah, I'm actually feeling really good about this. And I feel like I need to look at it a lot before I like decide what I need to change. I'm sure that I'll change something. Maybe the background could use more. Like these tiles here could use something. I don't know what. Maybe just like some orphan pixels. I kind of like using orphans, like just because people say not to use them. But in Game Boy, like you can totally get away with it, especially for something like sand or something like that. But I'm afraid that that's what this is gonna look like. I don't know. It kind of looks like stars or something. Yeah, I like that better. In fact, we could keep that going. Sometimes it's hard to know when to stop. I'm not sure when you were prompted to say that, but I know exactly what you mean. Like, it's just crazy, like, trying to know where finished is. In fact, I added that to my list of discussion topics for the next podcast that I'm doing. For this, because I have a podcast for people who don't know. I do a game development podcast where I interview devs, and it's pretty cool. Usually it's just like one developer. Sometimes it's a team of developers. But this idea that I had that's coming for the upcoming episode is going to be a round table where I think I have like 3 or 4 different people that have said, hey, I want to be part of this. But I'm going to try to have, I think, 4 or 5, and we're going to just discuss topics. And one of the topics I've added is, when is the game finished? Because there's just like so much discourse on that. You should interview Nasty Zombies dev. I don't know Nasty Zombies. I can look it up. Are they a larger dev or a smaller dev, or I guess we'll find out. Nasty Zombies. Oh wow, that does look nasty, and there are zombies. Well, that's definitely interesting. They're small. Curly Tail, are you friends with these devs? Or the dev, or porn number 1? I wonder if they have a Twitter. But that's definitely something to think about. I have a list of devs actually, so I'm not in any short supply of devs to interview, but I do let devs add themselves to this list, so that way I can kind of go through and choose things just by whatever I feel like doing. But yeah, this might be something that's interesting to do for sure. He's really easy to talk to. Corn number 1 is his ex. Cool. Well, I don't have a link set up for the podcast. That's something I should make a command for. There's a command for it on Kixie's stream, but not on mine. I could find the link somewhere. Let me pull up the link. Where am I doing? X. I think it's on my Twitter for the game dev or the podcast. IGDR. Yeah. So this link here is where that's where the thing is. What am I trying to say? That's where the application is. I can probably add this to the chat here. I think that should work. Did that work? Yeah. So if you copy and paste that link and give it to the dev, then they can apply. But or if anyone in chat wants to apply as a dev, they can. Or you can send them to this Twitter page, Indie Game Dev Report, IGDR_podcast is the handle, and there's a link there for that. But yeah, it's usually just one dev, so it would be interesting to have like 4 or 5 devs talking at the same time. And I have like 3 pages of questions that are like just full of discourse, like, because it's just so easy to go on Twitter and see like all the game dev discourse, right? Because there's always something that they're talking about, whether it's for just sheer engagement farming or if it's like actual people with concerns or questions. Like there's always something to talk about in the game dev stuff. And like as a podcaster, I kind of avoid that stuff to just like focus on like one project at a time and focus on like technical stuff or like whatever it is that I'm tackling. But I do think it would be fun to like flip the script and kind of go into that just opinionated discourse that like is all over the internet, but like it's not like factual stuff, so there's not a real spot for it like on like a regular basis. But this line's not supposed to be there. What the hell is this line doing? Where am I? I'm on the wrong window. I keep accidentally typing keyboard shortcuts into Twitch chat. Come on, let me draw. But I haven't actually sent any yet, so that's good. I usually figure out why it's not working, and then I'll like, oh, there's a whole bunch of I's and B's in the Twitch chat. I better not hit enter. I would look like a weirdo. So I'd look weirder than I already look. Sending like a whole bunch of I's and B's in chat. It would look bad. It would look like, it'd be like, people would be like, what? Did your cat get on the keyboard? No, I'm just trying to use the eyedropper and the brush tool. Leave me alone. Yeah, because what happens is I'll have like one screen with the Twitch chat and then another screen with Aseprite, and I'll type something in Twitch chat, you know, PokeCatch or whatever it is, and then I'll forget that I need to like click back on the screen that I'm using, and I'll just be like, oh yeah, I can see it, it's in front of me, so why isn't the M key working? Why can't I choose the marquee tool? And you end up with a bunch of M's in chat. The dev seems interested. Cool, yeah. If they want to apply, it's a really quick interview process. It's basically just, hey, give me your email address and give me the Steam link and your social media account. And then what it does is it puts it on a spreadsheet for me, so I can kind of keep track of all of these devs and slowly make my way through each of them. I usually do about once a month. I'll put out an episode. I'm definitely not as quick as some of the other podcasters out there. But I feel like it helps keep the content like strong when I do it this way, because I don't know, it prevents me from putting out weak stuff, I feel like. But yeah, I don't know. It kind of comes down to the developer as well. Sometimes it's like, you know, not as interesting just because, yeah, what I used to do was I used to just like put out a link, and anyone who wanted to be on the podcast, I'd be like, yep, you get a spot. When do you want to do it? Okay, that's perfect. And I would line up all of these podcasts for like months in advance, like all these interviews, and I was like so burnt out when it came to actually like getting them out, that like now I'm like, okay, I need to just do it by my rules and just do only what I want to do, because otherwise it just becomes too much work. Because, you know, because some of the earlier episodes, and you can kind of tell when listening, like some of the projects I'm just not that into, because I didn't pick it, these random strangers, you know, and like, and I almost got myself into trouble that way because are you a full-time dev, you're asking? I'm kind of a full-time dev. I'm kind of like 2 or 3 part-time devs, right? If that makes any sense. I'm like I'm a full-time dev, but I'm also a full-time hobbyist dev, or maybe, I don't know, it depends who you ask. Shit, but I forget what I was saying. What was I saying? I can't even remember what I was saying. But anyways, I work for a company called NukePop that I manage a team of developers for, but we just kind of released a project, so there's some things that are still being worked on slowly but surely, but we're like kind of in between things, so there's not a whole lot going on in terms of that work. But I also run my own studio, so I've been slowly but surely doing stuff with that. But since I do like contract work and freelance work, I actually am now working with another game developer, so it's like 2 or 3 different jobs. I'm not sure where you draw the line. But yeah, I don't have a regular full-time job, so I use game development to pay my bills. But also I use being thrifty, and right now I'm using living in my mom's basement, and also I don't drive anywhere, so well, unless I'm driving them to the airport, which is like a third of a tank of gas, but I digress. Forgot, now remember. You're kind of the same boat I'm in. And I was like so burnt out when it came to actually like getting them out that like now I'm like, okay, I need to just do it by my rules and just... Oh yeah, I was talking about being burnt out with the podcast. Thank you for that, by the way. But yeah, I had all of these podcasts lined up, and I was going through them, and eventually I just had to like chill, and yeah, I think I kind of finished my thought on that. Maybe I need to listen to more of the clip. Are you a full-time dev, you're asking? I'm and like, and I almost these random strangers, you know. Oh yeah, I remember now. I almost got into trouble with that because there was a developer that was a racist that I didn't know was a racist. So it's so weird, right? Because when you're like podcaster, it's kind of like this situation where you are like, hey, my friend is a developer, you should interview my friend. Well, the same thing happened where this guy was working for this developer or the studio owner, right? So he wasn't the studio owner, he was like the development team's manager, kind of like my job, right? And then he found me and was like, hey, I'm working on this game with the studio, and the studio owner, I think he would love to be on the podcast. If you don't mind, I'm gonna ask him if he wants to be on the podcast. And I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead, ask him if he wants to be on the podcast. And so he did. The guy was like, yeah, I'll be on the podcast. So right before the podcast, we were talking about like just finalizing dates and stuff like that, and we were like nearly ready to like say like, all right, we're definitely doing this podcast. All of a sudden he like blew up at me because of something that I'd retweeted on Twitter. This was during the whole it was the bundle against racism or something like that on itch.io, and Humble Bundle also had like an even bigger bundle, and they were great bundles, like tons of great games in those bundles, and they were like really pretty cheap too because they were, you know, for charity. So anyways, I retweeted what Humble tweeted. I didn't even post the tweet. It was Humble's tweet, and the guy freaked out on me and was like, "I'm never doing this podcast, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, well, I don't want you on the podcast if you don't like, if you're mad at me about that. Like, first of all, like, that's weird that you're mad at me about this. Second of all, like, you just outed yourself as a racist. So like, yeah, I'm not going to have you on the podcast. So there's that. But it's just weird, you know, like it's a very big world out there, and when you kind of open yourself up to like any variety of randomness, then yeah, like anything could happen. So you kind of have to vet people is what I've learned. And that's easier said than done. Because if that dev was smarter, he would have hid the fact that he was a racist, and then I would have accidentally been promoting a racist. So it worked out that he wasn't smart. But it's, yeah, you know, it made me think like, wow, I almost accidentally did something that I didn't want to do, just out of being open to anyone. But yeah, Curly Tail, you said you're kind of in the same boat. Yeah, it's definitely helpful to have folks that can like lend a spot for you. Like, I am like extremely grateful to have the opportunity to come back home and be here for what's going on here. But yeah, it's not easy either. Can't say that I like every minute of it. The pets aren't bad. I like the pets. They kind of puke a lot, but mostly the cat. Lulu, I'm looking at you. Where are you? She's not here yet. Oh crap, it's already 2:30 in the morning. Where is Lulu? She usually comes down at 2:30 on the dot and starts meowing. There's a Pokemon in chat. Well, it might be time for me to start calling it here. I do like the drawing. I like where this has gone. I think I'll make some iterations tomorrow. But at this point tonight, I've been staring at it for too long, I think, maybe. The flaws aren't jumping out to me as quickly as they might in the morning, so there's a chance that I might actually stream it tomorrow. I'm not sure. Got the house to myself, so there is that chance. Then again, I may be low on time and just want to focus on getting it done. But it's a good start. It's a good start. Might write my name in the corner if I have an extra square. No one caught the crab roller. The crab roller. I always imagine the Pokemon. It's probably never right, but crab roller's gotta be like a big, like, wrestler, right? But with like crab pinchers and like a crab head, maybe like lobster mustache, like Zoidberg, but a wrestler. Nah, it's got massive rock'em sock'em boppers. So I was close. I mean, Zoidberg has rock'em sock'em boppers. Dude, that's hilarious. Sock'em boppers. I had these. So I had 2 stepbrothers and 1 real brother when I was growing up, and we were all about the same age. We were all two years apart, and yeah, we had sock and boppers for Christmas one year. We each got sock and boppers, and like for months until we popped them all, and all the patches as well. We were just giving ourselves minor concussions all the time. It was terrible. Probably one of the worst toys that was invented. Like bloody noses, bent glasses, right? Or no, I think I was wearing contacts at that point. I think, yeah, I wouldn't have worn glasses. That would have been dumb. But yeah, I remember puking. I got hit so hard that I puked. Yeah, it was intense. It was intense. We like, and they would kind of, the younger ones would kind of team up, right? So yeah, but we had some fun with that. We had some fun. Probably had more fun with the Rock'em Sock'em robots, but. Alright, I think I should probably start bringing this to a close here. Let me see who's online. It looks like Peanut's still online. I raid her a lot, but there's no one else that's like a small streamer that I follow that's on right now. Pirate Software already has 4.8 thousand viewers. I don't think my measly 10 viewers is going to be a drop in the bucket for him. Bob Ross is no longer with us, so I don't think he's gonna notice. Also, he's got 1.4 thousand, but Peanut's got 77, which is pretty normal for her, being towards the end of the night. She gets rated a ton. But yeah, she's an artist, so she's really cool artist. So yeah, I should raid her. I'm getting sleepy. I can barely talk here. Also, I should save this before I forget. Did I already do that? Probably already did. Yeah, so let's raid Peanut Punch. And yeah, I want to thank everyone for hanging out and being awesome. All the new people, lurkers, all the cool people. Did I do that right? Okay. I had screwed up one raid, and like now I'm always gonna be like a little bit anxious, like cause Peanut had raided me, and I had like 90 some people come in on a raid, and I still had like 60 left, and it was like 4 in the morning. I was like, all right, time for bed. And or actually it was like 5 or 6 in the morning, and I was gonna raid someone, and I went to raid him, and for some reason I screwed it up, and none of the raid went through. And I ended my stream. So it was like, well, that sucked. And then yeah, I went to his chat and I was like, I'm sorry, I tried to raid with like 60 people, but it didn't work. And then I went back and raided with like 10 the next time, or something, or less than 10. It was like 4 probably. But yeah, we're gonna raid Peanut Punch. She does a lot of art. She does a little bit of pixel art. She's trying to get more into pixel art, but she also does a lot of larger anime style, kind of JoJo influenced, Full Metal Alchemist influenced type stuff. A lot of fan art. So yeah, check out Peanut Punch, and thank you so much for joining the stream.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't think that played. I don't think that played. Hi, Rick. Hello, Rick.